Welcome to another episode of GooberPasta. Do you like stimulus checks? Perhaps you like not getting a stimulus check. Well, if you do or do not, you'll find this next tale to be quite spooky. My name is John Stimulus Check, and everybody is after me. Why are they after me? Because my last name is Stimulus Check, and everybody wants a stimulus check from the government. But they said that they weren't going to give anybody a stimulus check until later. And now everybody, and I mean everybody, wants a stimulus check. I'd boarded up the doors and windows of my house. I had a large shotgun. Very large, and lots of shotgun shells. And every time somebody came to the door, I opened fire. Like last week, for example. Somebody knocked on my door claiming they were UPS and needed a signature for my package. I opened fire and said, "Get out of here. Just because my last name's Stimulus Check doesn't mean that I have a stimulus check for you. No, it's just my surname. And I don't know why my ancestors decided to call themselves stimulus checks, but we come from a town in Greece that's 200 people in population called Stimulus Check. And everybody there has the last name Stimulus Check." The UPS man ran off, and several hours later many cops showed up to my house, wanting to know why I had opened fire on a UPS man. But these cops, they were no ordinary cops. They were cops with a motive, and that motive was to get a stimulus check. "Go away," I said. "I don't have a stimulus check for you. It's just my last name. You need to go away." "Mr. Stimulus Check, please come out with your hands up. We need to speak to you about why you opened fire about the UPS man. We don't want anything from you except to arrest you for this crime." Arrest, that means they think I have their stimulus checks, but I don't have their stimulus checks. I escaped through a tunnel that I had dug out during the middle of the standoff between the police. It emerged out into the woods, where I ran out to the backcountry of Wyoming, because that's where I live, in Wyoming. I've been hiding out in the woods for several days when I came across a group of campers. Lucky for me, I had my very large shotgun, and I pointed at them and said, "Hey, you here for a stimulus check?" "No, sir, we're here doing some camping. We don't require any stimulus checks because, well, I saved my money. And so did my fellow campers, and that's why we're out here on this retreat. You know, to get away from people during the middle of this pandemic and also kind of disconnect and plug back into reality." "Well, you can't have it," I said. "Well, that's fine, because we don't really want a stimulus check," the one camper replied. "Yeah, how about a s'more, guy? You want a s'more?" I do love me some s'mores. And I sat down with them and had s'mores. And I must say, this was the only group of people I've met in this world who didn't want a stimulus check from me. Because as I've mentioned many, many times now, and I've already said numerous times the word stimulus check, people think I have stimulus checks for them. I departed from the campers, a very nice group of people, and I hoped they were going to be able to live through this massacre. Fortunately for them, I don't think any of them looked like their last name was Stimulus Check. You see, people who just come from that Greece village of Stimulus Check, they have a very distinguishable feature, that they're very handsome, very beautiful people. None of these campers look very beautiful. In fact, they look quite homely compared to me, John Stimulus Check, which is my name. I spent many a week in the wood, eluding the authorities and other people who wanted my stimulus checks. I held up in a cave and started a fire, but in this cave was a bear, and I had no idea there was a bear there, but I knew one thing that he wanted. He wanted a stimulus check. Go away, bear, I shouted. I don't have a stimulus check for you. You must go away. I don't have a stimulus check. And I pointed my shotgun at him, and the bear replied, I didn't speak bear, but I knew what he was wanting. I could see it in his eyes. He was wanting a stimulus check. I pointed my gun, and as I was about ready to fire, the authorities fell over me. All right, stimulus check. Give it up. Come on out with your hands up and put your weapon down. I didn't know what they wanted. First they said put my hands up, then come out with my weapon down. How was I going to put my weapon down if my hands were already up? I would have to drop my weapon from high over my head, and that might charge an accidental discharge. A negligent fire, I do believe the gun enthusiasts call it. The bear was distracted by all the noise and ran out angrily. Oh, geez, it's a bear, I could hear one of the stimulus check hungry officers say. As they were deciding what to do with the bear, I ran out the back end. Hey, he's getting away, they said. I ran deeper into the woods of Wyoming, deeper and deeper, into something called Cheyenne, Wyoming, which is actually a city in Wyoming. Now, I'd never been to Wyoming in my life, but the people's thirst for stimulus checks pushed me there. And why anybody would live in Wyoming, I had no idea. But I only knew there was one thing here: people who wanted my stimulus check. I had went into a gas station, and the clerk, I could tell, wanted a stimulus check, so I shot him point blank. As I stared over his dying corpse, I looked at him and said, well, I guess you won't be getting a stimulus check today, will you? He just looked at me, all dead and shit, because he's dead after I shot him. He wasn't going to need a stimulus check where he was going, which was probably hell. I don't know what he did with his personal life, but since I shot him, the way I can live with that is to tell myself that he was a pedophile or some kind of criminal. See, that's what happens when you want to shoot somebody or you want to insult somebody. As long as they're a millionaire or they did something really bad, then it's okay. Your actions are justified. So says John's stimulus check. I stayed in the gas station and began eating Cheetos and drinking Code Red Mountain Dew, which they had for some reason. My only determination of why they had Code Red Mountain Dew was because this is Wyoming. I'm drinking coffee as I'm telling you this story. It is quite aromatic and refreshing. Oh, that's good coffee. Several customers try to come in and make purchases such as gasoline and other convenience accessories. I pointed my gun and said, go away, we don't have a stimulus check for you. One country bumpkin said, you call that a gun? And he came back with another gun, but his gun was puny and weak compared to my gun, and I shot him. Then I went over and stood over his corpse all dramatically, and I said, hey, I guess there won't be no stimulus check for you today. And he didn't say anything either, because he was dead, because I shot him. Where he was going, he wasn't going to need convenience store snack foods or cigarettes or beer, because he's probably going to hell. And for a guy like him, hell probably was like Harvard or some other Ivy League school where he was going to have to sit in classes that he didn't understand and was going to make him mad. Because when you don't understand things, it makes you mad. But anyway, I looked around the gas station, and I looked outside into the vast Wyoming wasteland, and I knew I was going to make this my home. I was going to stay here, and I was going to defend this gas station with my life, and I was going to live off Cheetos and fountain soda. And when those things run out, I would just smoke cigarettes and die of cancer. And that's exactly what happened. Because nobody else comes to Wyoming. And did I tell you? My name is John Stimulus Check. Thank you, bitches.